So the Jamie O'Hara Scottish football situation is pretty crazy right now, to say the least. Jamie O'Hara, who you may remember as a footballer back in the day, but you probably know him more nowadays for being a pundit, of course regularly appearing on TalkSport and also on Sky Sports. And he made an appearance on Sky Sports News recently, and some of the comments he made has very much rubbed people up the wrong way. It takes a lot for people on both sides of the old firm divide to agree with each other, but I think they both agree when it comes to Jamie's take on both Celtic, Rangers and the Scottish League system as a whole. But what did O'Hara say, and why has it caused so much controversy, and is there any truth to what he is saying? I got everything you need to know here, guys. Let's go through this one. So O'Hara came on Sky Sports News recently and he was debating with Celtic fan and podcaster Paul John Dykes about the state of Scottish football at the moment and a number of other topics. But very much one topic did dominate the discourse, the claim that he made about how bad Scottish football is right now. Now, there was some basis for what Jamie O'Hara was saying, but he very much did take this really far, even by the standards of what he says. I mean, anybody that knows TalkSport here in the UK know that they say very outlandish things to get clicks, to get reactions. Nobody can convince me that is not the case, at least with some of the things that some of their pundits come out with. Yes, I'm looking at you, Rory Jennings. O'Hara's almost as bad though, and the thing that he came out with recently was just plain nonsense, to be honest with you. I'll just say it outright. Absolute nonsense what he was coming out with. Essentially, he claimed that Stockport County, who are the lead side in the EFL League One, the third division of English football, would win the Scottish Premier League. Obviously the highest tier of Scottish football, including the likes of Rangers, Celtic and the current leaders Hearts of Midlothian as well. Now the reason why he said this is because Opta recently released some statistics about the most competitive and the highest standards of football around the world. Unsurprisingly, the English Premier League was top. The likes of La Liga, Serie A and Bundesliga were also up there too. The Scottish Premier League, though, by comparison, was all the way down in 39th, which was a few places lower than not only the Championship, the EFL Championship, the second tier of English football, but the third tier of English football as well, the EFL League One, which I believe was 36th overall in the rankings. Now, obviously, stats come in for a lot of criticism, and that is one you could probably question. But to claim automatically based purely upon this that Stockport, who are the best team in League One so far this season, would beat Celtic, Rangers, Hearts and anybody else who might spring up at the top of the Scottish Premier League system is absolutely ridiculous. See, Stockport might well be able to compete in the Scottish Premier League at the moment. They might well be able to beat the likes of Falkirk, Dundee, Motherwell, teams like that. A case could definitely be made for being on that kind of level in terms of the football they are playing. They're not a bad team at all, and to be honest, I think they probably are around that level. But to say they're going to beat Rangers, Celtic and Hearts this season is just ridiculous. See, what Jamie either fails to recognise or fails to admit, one of the two, either's possible, I'll be totally honest with you, is the fact that these rankings are based on the average of the league. So while Stockport might well be better than some of the worst sides in the Scottish Premier League, and on average, the best team in League One would be better than the Scottish Premier League side purely based on these stats, that's not quite the case because of the disparity in the Scottish League. Celtic and Rangers are magnitudes and orders bigger than any other club in that league, and their finances reflect that as well. Yes, you can get a case like Hearts where they are doing amazingly well, but they're yet to complete this season, and in truth, they've actually been wobbling if you're going off of their most recent results. They have dropped points to Celtic, that lead is coming down slowly. So yeah, on a very lazy surface level side of things, that is an observation you could make, but anybody with two brain cells can very much determine that that is not an accurate case. That's a little bit like saying the likes of Wolverhampton Wanderers could compete with Barcelona and Real Madrid over in Spain because the Premier League is a higher level overall compared to La Liga going off of these stats. But the disparity between the average La Liga side and those two giants is massive, and it's a similar case in Scotland as well when it comes to Celtic and Rangers. So yeah, like I said, O'Hara very much achieved something that is almost impossible to do. He united both Celtic and Rangers fans against him. Well done, mate. Now, whether he deliberately meant this or whether it was just part of an act is really hard to tell. Either's likely. I do think it's probably the latter if I had to stick money on it, but either way, he said it publicly. He stuck by it when he was questioned about it. So yeah, not a very popular one there, Jamie, to paraphrase Father Ted. And like I said, when Sky Sports delete a video online, you know it's bad. You know there's going to be a lot of negative reaction. You can still watch the debate if you want to. Someone else re-uploaded it, screen grabbed it and re-uploaded it. I assume that's what they did anyway, so fair play to them for that. So yeah, guys, what do you think? Do you think O'Hara's right on this one, or do you have a bit of sense and know how much the level is different really when it comes to the third tier of English football and the Scottish Premier League? But here's a question for you. How would Celtic and Rangers get on against Coventry City, who are the leaders of the Championship right now, the second tier of English football? That's a much more interesting debate than just saying that Stockport County are better than any team in Scotland, purely based off of Opta rankings of the league, not the club side. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, guys. Have a fantastic day wherever you're on the world today, and we'll see you soon.